What is up, guys? I have for you guys a Lightray Madoor 3 of a kind of ghost trick deck. So pretty much the Lightray Madoor is the main card in the deck because it has 3,000 defense and it's a wall. And if you have 3 or more light monsters that are banished, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then once per turn it can't be destroyed by battle. So it literally puts up a wall, and your opponent's going to have to either waste something to get rid of it, or attack over it twice with something with more than 3,000 attack points. I don't know about you, but I don't know a lot of monsters that have more than 3,000 attack points. So then we are playing 3 Cyber Valley to thin the deck, and because when you activate its effect, it gets banished, and they are light. So you can get them banished and then special summon your Lightray Madoor. Next, we're playing 3 Ghost Trick Witch. I'll explain in a little bit why the Ghost Trick Witch is in this deck, but basically its effect, once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and change it to face-down defense position, which is good because you don't have a whole lot of strong attack point monsters in this deck. So that's that. Then we're playing 2 Ghost Trick Yugiprotege. This one, pretty much all I ever use it for is I set it, and then the monster that destroys this card gets flipped face down. So then that gets rid of one of your opponent's attack position monsters for at least a turn, you know. Then it's going to be face down, and you can deal with it a little easier. Then we're playing 2 Breaker the Magical Warrior because you can use it to pop some back row, and because without using it to pop back row, it becomes a 1900 attack beater. 1 Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer to try and get some monster removal from your opponent. Alright, and then the last monster in the deck is a Magician of Faith to reuse some of your spell cards. Now for spells, we are playing 2 copies of Ghost Trick Mansion. Now this is the key card for the deck with the Ghost Trick monsters, and pretty much any monster. Because with Ghost Trick Mansion, monsters can't attack face-down defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls are face-down defense position. So pretty much what you do is, and then all effect damage or battle damage inflicted by monsters other than Ghost Trick monsters is halved, which helps, especially if you don't get to your monsters quick enough. You can activate this and all your damage gets halved. But pretty much what you end up doing is you're going to be using this next card here. We are playing 2 copies of Swords of Concealing Light. So you're going to be using Swords of Concealing Light to flip your opponent's monsters face down, and then attack with your Ghost Trick monsters, or attack with any of your other monsters, whatever. And then we're playing 2 Solidarity. The Solidarity comes in handy because Ghost Trick Mansion does cut all the other monsters' damage in half. But what it does, if you have 2 copies of Solidarity on the field and 1 type of monster, so let's say you have spellcasters in the graveyard, right? All your spellcasters on the field will gain 800 attack for each Solidarity on the field, which makes Ghost Trick Witch a 2800 beater, and makes your other Ghost Trick monster, the Yugiprotege, if you'd want to use it, a 2600 beater, and all your other monsters, so on and so forth, as long as they were spellcasters, they gain 1600. So it makes all your weak monsters big beat sticks so you can attack. And with the help of the Swords of Concealing Light and Ghost Trick Mansion, it makes it really easy to get direct damage in on your opponent. So next we are playing 2 reloads because you do get a lot of dead hands in this deck sometimes. Sometimes you get those dead hands. And this kind of helps shuffle the cards that shuffle your whole hand back into your deck. I'm thinking about playing Magical Mallet, but for now I kind of like the reload. It seems to work. Then we're playing 2 Pot of Duality to get through your deck a little bit more. 1 Terraforming to deck thin and get to your Ghost Trick Mansion faster. 1 Scapegoat and 1 Dark Hole. So that's the spells for the deck. For traps, the main trap in your deck is the 3 copies of 3 of a kind. If you control 3 or more monsters with the same name, except tokens, so you can't use this with like Scapegoat and cheap tokens and stuff like that. target three cards your opponent controls and destroy those targets. So that pesky back row, you can pop with this. Those extra monsters on your opponent's field, if you got your three your three Lightray Madoors or your three witches on the field, boom, you can pop monsters, you can pop back row. A lot of people don't know what to do when this card hits them. And then we are playing 3 magic cylinders to redirect some of your opponent's attacks. 3 reckless greeds to deck them a little bit more into your deck, helping you get to those combo plays a lot faster. Playing 2 Call It a Haunted, because sometimes your opponent does destroy one of your Lightray Madoors or one of your witches that you need to go for that 3 of a kind card. So having 2 Call It a Haunted, you can bring one back. Then we're playing 1 Mirror Force, 1 7 Tools of the Bandit, because you don't want to get Mirror Forced if you go for that big attack, and 1 Icy Crevice. Now this card I was considering not playing till I realized it's a pretty good card. When exactly 1 monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, target 1 monster your opponent controls, and that send the target to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack in the graveyard. So if your opponent goes Scrap Dragon and pops a monster, you can chain with this and then destroy Scrap Dragon and do 2,800 points of damage. If your opponent goes Caius, you can chain with this and destroy Caius. Whatever it may be, but that card comes in handy quite often. Okay, so that was the 3 of a kind Lightray Madoor Ghost Trick deck profile. There is no extra deck for the deck because I never really needed it. With this deck, I had no problem taking my opponent's life points down, getting my monsters out, and just going in for the damage. So in the comment section down below, let me know what you guys think about this deck. Let me know if there's anything you think I could add or change to the deck. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more deck profiles.